talked about the English people, we discussed this time period where there were knights and ladies in castles. This is the same time period that the story, what was the movie?
Robin
Hood describes, which was the Middle English period. In the 1400s, an important event occurred that affected the spelling of English words. And y'all can't guess what it was. What could have happened that would have changed the way words were spelled?
A war.
A war could have changed the way words were spelled. That's a good guess. What else?
The king wanted Robin Hood to be killed.
Okay, but why would that change how words were spelled? We're talking about the way words were spelled. Nobody has any idea?
No.
I would think a war or someone took over.
A spell.
A spell was cast and put on everyone and made the words be spelled differently. Let's read and see. During this time, the first printing presses were invented and eventually introduced into England. Before printing presses were invented, all papers, documents, and books were carefully copied by hand by people who were called scribes. So if you had a book, like if I had a sheet of paper and I wanted to give it to you, I would give it to a scribe and they would copy it for me. They didn't have copy machines like we have now. In a few weeks, you'll be learning about something called a scribal O. This is an O which should say oo according to our spelling words, but instead it says you. Okay, so a printing press is something that printed. It was like a printer, is what it was, like a copying machine, as you know now. So in the 1400s, before the 1400s, all books and important papers were copied by hand by scribes. So if there was something important, they would write it down, okay? Well, when books were copied by hand, people sometimes had trouble reading the words that scribes had written because the ink they used sometimes blotted or ran. You remember when we did our Christmas book, we had to be careful not to rub the ink, because have you ever written with an ink pen and your hand hit it and it blots or it gets gooey or it runs or smears? That would happen. And when that would happen, people didn't know all the letters or couldn't read the words. It is believed that the letter U's that sometimes scribe wrote looked more like O's. Eventually, the spelling of the words containing those letters changed. What else do you think might have happened to spellings during the times books were being copied by hand? What do you think happened to the way words were spelled? They got smeared. What else? If it was smeared, would you know how to spell it?
No.
So what would happen if you were the scribe and you couldn't read how to spell it?
You wouldn't know what it was.
You wouldn't know what it was, so what would you do?
Reprint.
You would rewrite it. Would it always be spelled the same? No. The way words were spelled changed a lot during that time. When books were copied by hand, spellings also changed a lot because scribes often spelled words the way they were pronounced. Since words were pronounced differently in various parts of the country, this sometimes resulted in the same word being spelled differently in different books. Can you imagine having to write a whole book by hand? Think about your reading book. They couldn't just make a copy of that in the machine like they do now. Somebody had to sit and rewrite that entire book. So if Amaya was a scribe and Carson was a scribe and if one word was smeared, the book Kylie got and the book Tyler got might have two different spellings of some of the same words because the ink was smeared and they couldn't tell. How do you think the printing press might have affected the way we spell words? The printing press, being able to just copy and print it. How do you think that affected how we spell words? Do you think the words changed once they put it through a printer?
Yeah.
No. Once they put it through a copy machine, there was no misinterpretation. Amaya and Carson don't have to write the books anymore because I'm going to run it through a copying machine. So is the spelling going to change? No, because the copying machine copies exactly, it takes a picture of it. Do you understand? When Amaya and Carson were the scripts, and they were writing, or the scribes, when they were writing the scripts, they might misspell some words. But if I take it and put it on the copy machine and make a photocopy, it's going to be exactly the same. So once the printing presses started, it standardized spelling. That means it made spelling not change anymore because it just made a photocopy. All right, the printing press affected the way we spell words because it standardized spellings. That is, after a word was in print, its spelling tended to remain the same. It didn't change because all it did was take a photocopy of it. You see, the printing press really did have a big effect on the English language and the way we spell words today. Would you like to have been the person who helped decide how our words are spelled? Who would have liked to have been that person? Decide how words are spelled? Yeah? It could have been kind of cool. If so, you would probably make A's on all your spelling tests. All right, let's review some sounds and we'll practice spelling some words. All right, get out your spelling and high frequency word sheet. I will call out the sound. And you will tell me your response. You're going to echo the sound and name the letters that makes the sound. Ready? R.
R. A-R.
Combination A-R.
Combination A-R.
Number 2. E.
E.
Diagraph E-E. Comma E. Final diagraph E-E. Comma Y. Number 3. U. U consonant E, comma U. You're all a little rusty, being gone for several weeks.
I usually get to do whatever I want on my break.
You do, and you didn't do phonics, did you? Nope.
I didn't know I had phonics.
Number 4. Combination E-R. Malachi, I didn't put you over there to talk to her, okay, buddy? Number 5. V, final V-E. V, final V-E. Number 6. Z, comma, S. Very good. Number 7. Ooh. Diagraph O-O. Number 8 is oi. Diphthong O-I. Final diphthong O-Y.
Like boy.
Yes, yes, toy.
Soy. Soy sauce. Like Riker and boy. Soy sauce.
Well, Riker's O-Y-E.
O-I-E. O-I. Oh, right. Have we learned that yet?
Number 9. like a lot of L's.
It's like a bunch of ones.
All right, let's practice spelling some words. Find the box labeled review words. Put your finger next to number 10. Spell the word raw.
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 I do not like raw food either.
My grandma's raw egg.
Raw. It does make you sick. R-A-W. Spice's brain is still on break too. R-A-W. Raw. Number 11. Softness. 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 S-O-F-T-N-E-S-S. Softness.
I got a hiccup.
It's growing.
My birthday's growing.
Number 12. Suction. Like a suction cup. Suction. So you can climb buildings, that's right. S-U-C-T-I-O-N. Suction.
I can put shun and so.
S-U-C-T-I-O-N. Let's practice spelling some sight words. Put your finger next to number 13 and spell the word danger. 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 D-A-N-G-E-R.
Yes!
Danger. Suction. Look at the bottom of the screen. S-U-C-T-I-O-N. Number 14 is eye. Eye. Like your eye on your face.
I thought they would come out.
No, this eye. I can see you with my eye.
I can poke up.
E-Y-E. Don't poke out your eye.
Poke out my eye.
And number 15, listen. Listen.
I thought you were telling us to listen.
You need to listen, but listen is the word. Listen.
Listen or listen?
Listen. Listen with your ear. L-I-S-T-E-N. Listen. I wonder if back in the Robin Hood days they did say listen. Listen to me.
It's not it says listen to me. Listen to me.
All right, write the following sentence on your paper, number 16. I'll say it, you repeat it. I'll say it, you write it. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Throw the little fish into the pond so we can catch him later.
Throw the little fish into the pond so we can catch him later.
Throw the little fish into the pond so we can catch him later.
Throw the little fish into the pond. Throw the little fish.
You're going to be writing. Scoot your chair up, Jessica.
I can do this. Wait, I put little fish into
Oops.
into the pond. I need another pen. Can you sharpen my special pen?
Throw the little fish into the pond so we can catch him later.